This was the biggest cash game in televised poker history. And during it, we also saw the single biggest pot ever played on stream.
What a moment we've been treated to here, all of you joining us on the Onyx Live YouTube channel.
Jungleman and Monarch just battled in a series of heads-up matches with buy-ins climbing from 2 million to 6 million, 10 million, and finally 12 million combined on the line. What unfolded was pure chaos, insane bluffs, impossible hero calls, and swings bigger than most people's lifetime bankrolls. I'm gonna walk you through the biggest hands from this series so you can see exactly how two of the biggest gamblers on earth went to war. Firstly, who are these guys? We have Jungleman, aka Daniel Cates, one of the most feared cash game players in the world, who has historically crushed online games and is now playing the biggest buy-in cash games all around the world. Famous for being very calculated, mixed with Jungleman's trademark weirdness. He's the guy who will wear a Tarzan costume one day and then win millions the next. He represents the battle-tested poker pro, patient, technical, and thrives under max pressure. Monarch, on the other hand, is a mysterious, ultra-wealthy figure who recently started showing up in these massive games. Just the day before, he played a $4 million heads-up match and looked extremely tight. So Jungleman came in expecting the same careful Monarch, and that's exactly what he got here. Lots of flop checkbacks, controlled lines, and just trying not to torch millions too quickly. Monarch represents the cautious rich player willing to put up insane buy-ins, but once the cards hit the felt, plays like he's trying to protect every chip. So the dynamic was clear. Jungleman wants blood, and Monarch wants to survive.
The blinds are 10K, 20K, $1 million each, as I said.
I was told you have a casino that you've started. Is that accurate?
Yeah, duel.com.
So the first hand we're going to look at, Monarch decides to check raise 6-4 offsuit on a King 7-7 flop, which is very different than he played the night before. So Jungleman's a little bit confused here on the flop, but he makes the call. And we go to the turn, and it goes check, check.
Continue telling the story.
Trying to set an early trap.
And then the river comes, and Monarch bets pot. Jungleman's range is very King X heavy, and so it makes sense for Monarch to be bluffing here.
140K into 140.
140? Well. This is a situation.
But Jungleman is expecting a very tight Monarch to start this match because of how Monarch had played last night.
He's not loving it, but there's enough missed clubs and stuff.
Oh, it was a great situation. Yeah, I'm never folding.
First blood to the jungle.
He ends up timing down a little bit and finding the call anyways. It was a sigh call. He was, then he puts the money in. He wins the pot, and now he's a little bit confused. Am I getting the tight Monarch? Am I getting an aggressive Monarch? You're going to see later on in this video that he is getting a very tight Monarch. Monarch checked back so many flops in this series of cash games. I started wondering if he thought the check button gave him rake back.
Free money, no catches, no fees, cash back to you.
Oh boy.
100.
Oh, look at this King Kong cooler.
Here we go.
The next hand we take a look at here is just a very standard-ish cooler. I say standard-ish because Monarch makes a pretty big jam here over Jungleman's 3-bet. I'd like to see a non-all-in 4-bet here from Monarch to, let's say, 240K or maybe 250K. But he just goes all in for the million.
We're just running it. How many times are we running it? You want to run it once?
And Monarch only wants to run it once, and he's very firm with that. He's just putting his finger up like he's just the boss of everything.
Is that reasonable? Okay.
Is that aces or kings?
Huh?
Aces or kings? Oof.
That is this king.
Man wants to go once.
And Jungleman seems a little bit hesitant for that. He's like, wait a second, Play for $2 million. Like, are you sure you want to run this once? Like, Jungleman kind of wants to run it more than once here, you can tell. He wants to kind of cut down the variance. He knows he has a massive edge in this heads-up match. Massive edge. And that becomes more clear as this match went on.
The boys are looking good.
On the turn. No help.
And he
Needs an ace.
holds.
No good.
Wow.
Jungleman dispatching Monarch after just 19 hands. Very unlucky. Nothing you can do there. No player in the world is getting away from that one. I've got a sneaky feeling we may see a rematch.
A few moments later.
They have just confirmed a rematch. 1 million each again. The dealers were just checking.
The hand we're looking at now, Jungleman has King Jack suited. He 3-bets from the big blind.
This is a good spot for Monarch now. In a 3-bet pot, he does dominate.
You should have a herald like Galactus.
Ooh.
And there we go.
Spicy flop.
This could be Monarch's ticket to get back in the game.
And we take a flop of Jack 3-2. Jungleman makes a standard C-bet of $70,000 here, and Monarch just makes the smooth call.
Different turns and rivers of how to get this money in. Safe card for both. Let's go with check though.
Jungleman checks the turn here, which is somewhat standard. I think most players would just bet a turn here, and Monarch checks behind. And this was kind of the theme of the match. Monarch was checking like an absolute machine, guys. Like he was just not putting money in the middle.
Oh, he doesn't decide to bet that one.
Oh my god, look at that.
Oh, and now we just have the stone cold cooler.
Oh man.
That is so sick. Yeah, it's a little surprising Monarch doesn't bet the turn there. He definitely could have got all the money if he did. But as it happens now, this is going to be entertaining. Because
like 500, right?
There's going to be a bet. There's going to be a raise.
More.
I'm sure Jungle will have a lot to say.
630.
I bet 500k.
So Jungle decides that his hand is very under rep and to bet $500,000 on the river. And Monarch in this spot should absolutely be raising and putting the rest of the money in.
Hefty.
Let's bet 500. Doesn't quite put him all in. Never in a million years will he'll think.
Jack.
Oh, he just calls.
Wow.
What?
This is just way too tight. It's very unlikely that Jungleman hasn't beat here. Extremely unlikely. Jungleman would have to have some kind of pocket eights or jack eight suited. The way this hand played out, you got to put the rest of the money in here if you're Monarch.
Oh my god.
I cannot believe he's just called that.
Didn't expect to lose that one.
And this is part of his biggest troubles during this series of cash games, is that he was just playing just too tight, guys. He was playing too tight, not willing to put the money in. We didn't see that many raises from him post-flop. Bunch of checkbacks on the flop. It was just non-stop passivity. And Jungleman took full advantage. But either way, we have a massive cooler here. All the money has to be getting in here. Lucky for Jungleman, he didn't lose his entire stack on this hand, which is shocking, to be honest. But it's still a big hit for the second match that they played. So now we're going into a match where Jungleman and Monarch are playing for $6 million winner take all.
It makes it 100k out of nowhere.
Whoa.
Haven't seen this. Just over 3x.
So this hand here, Monarch makes a 3.5x, well, almost a 3.5x open raise pre-flop. So Jungleman's a little bit taken back by this. He's like, well, you raised 100k at big blind 30k? Like, what's going on? And so normally he would probably be 3-betting his ace 10 off. But since that sizing was so weird, he just flats pre-flop.
And Jungle may have 3-bet the ace 10, but to this size does just call. He just knew. He just knew.
What?
And then we take a flop of 6-6-6. I mean, at this point, Jungleman's got to be thinking this has to be rigged. Like, this guy just like raises a random weird size, and then the flop comes 6-6-6 when he's holding king 6. This is unbelievable.
He does go for bet. A 10 or an ace for Jungleman would be an absolute disaster. He's gone pretty big, and Jungle's got the hand to call. 350k in there. This could be a huge pot.
So Monarch makes a standard c-bet of $75,000. Jungleman, of course, with his ace 10 is calling, but he's still kind of like a little bit suspicious as to like, what the hell's going on with this pre-flop sizing?
Card I can't really see. Sick. That is a very sick turn card. We've seen a number of coolers early on in this match. This looks like another one. How does Jungle get away from this?
I think it's impossible.
This is a crazy hand. Just randomly makes it 100k pre for the first time ever. You know, you'd think as he goes down to 1.3 mil, he'd be lowering his open size, but he just increased it.
So Monarch on the turn makes a barrel of less than half pot, which throws Jungleman a little bit off, because now he's got to calculate, okay, there was the over 3x open pre-flop, and then there was the standard c-bet, but now he's sizing down on the turn. Maybe Jungleman's putting a Monarch on a hand like an ace-king or an ace-queen, just kind of betting small to check back the river kind of thing. So I don't mind this raise from Jungleman. It makes sense based on how this hand was played. He's never thinking Monarch has a hand like quads here, right? I don't think anybody on earth would be thinking that unless you have access to the whole cards. And he's also probably not thinking Monarch has a hand like aces, kings, queens, because the sizing pre-flop is just too weird with those combos. It's possible maybe, but Jungleman's almost positive that he has the best hand here in this spot. When Monarch sees this raise, he is feeling incredible on the inside. He's trying not to celebrate, guys. He's got the absolute nuts, an unbeatable hand here. Yeah, he's just hoping and praying that the river comes some sort of brick, that Jungleman just continues pouring money in here. You can kind of tell like how happy he is. I mean, he just kind of looks like he's happy. I don't know. Maybe it's because I see the hand, but either way.
I mean, it's it's one of the most insane boards. 6, 6, 6, 10 ace, or king 6 and ace 10.
The river comes a disastrous card for Mr. Jungleman, the ace of spades, and he's just thinking like at the worst, I'm probably chopping here. Like, what kind of 6 can Monarch have, making this over 3x open pre-flop? So he's probably just like, okay, this is amazing.
Does look like it's set him in. 825, leaves him 5k.
And then Monarch's counting out his chips, like, I'm obviously putting all this in. It's only 5,000 more, so Jungle's like, all right, I guess I put it in. He's probably thinking that this is going to be a chop, but little does he know, Mr. Monarch has the old flopped quads here. Like, who flops quads, guys? Who flops quads?
This is so dumb, man. Fucking stupid.
Scripted as fuck.
That is an absolutely insane hand.
You can tell throughout all these matches that we're looking at today that Monarch is playing scared money. In this match, he's risking $6 million, but still plays tighter than most 1-2 grinders at your local casino. And as the matches got higher and higher in stakes, when they got to the $5 million match, which is 10 million total, 5 million each, and then they got to the $12 million match, which was $6 million each, Monarch was just constantly playing tight, just checking, folding, checking, folding, checking, folding. It was a disaster. Now we're getting to that $10 million match where they put up $5 million in cash each.
200.
Okay, here we go. Likely to see our first big one here. Monarch coming out with his first, I think, button lift of this match.
Right.
And timing spot on, because Jungle with a real one, raising it up to 200k. If he'd raised, would probably be forced to... Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Wow. Limp raise.
Monarch limp re-raises 9-8 suited to Jungleman's king-queen off. Now, Jungleman's probably just a little bit confused here because of how tight Monarch had been playing, like, all the way through. When you see a limp re-raise like this, you're just kind of like, what is going on, right? So Monarch, I would say, from watching this, like 90% of this match, he was playing super tight, passive, nitty, flop check backs, folding, all that good stuff. But then randomly just doing things like this, where he just limp re-raises 9-8 suited.
Now this gets really interesting because we noted in the last game that he just never limped the button. Then suddenly the one time he did limp the button, it was aces. I'm sure that information's been relayed to Jungle that the one limp was a trap.
So we go post flop and Jungle checks it over and Monarch makes a standard c-bet. Jungleman calls with his king of hearts and 2 overcards.
Substantial lead in the very early goings, but he is going to check back that 3 of spades and finds no improvement on the river. Got 3-bet called, check called flop. Those white chips, 100k a piece. And he's putting together a lot of them. There we go, 2 million the bet.
So the turn goes check, check, which is somewhat standard. And then Jungle decides to make a massive bluff here. And this is one of the biggest differences in the match, where we saw Jungleman just take pure aggression and we saw Monarch just folding his life away.
Just imagine if he had walked into it here, would be down to crumbs already. We saw Aussie come out with some heroic bluffs.
Know, it's like, hold your horses, buddy. He might shove.
Yeah.
He's been swagging out.
So he's been bashed up most pots, wins the one big one, and now he's the one with the million plus lead. The median house price in the United States is $462,000. This is a very rich country.
So now we have Monarch 3-betting the ace-8 suited, which is very standard. Then we have Jungleman defending the 5-3 suited, which would be the bottom of the defending range here in position.
2 houses on the line.
Oh, yeah. Jungle's going to rule out the ace-4 offs because they just haven't been in there. And yeah, there we go. He slows down.
And he chucks it over to Jungleman on the ace-queen-10 2-diamond board. I think this is totally fine in a 3-bet pot. Very standard to be playing this a little bit more passively. This was just a trend with Monarch, right? Just checking. And Jungleman decides to ramp up the aggression and make a bet of $400,000 right here on the flop. I personally like a check here with a hand like 5-3 of diamonds, but I might mix in like 20 or 30% bets. But Jungleman's strategy in these heads-up matches versus Monarch was just, if he's between betting and checking, the bet was going in basically 100% of the time. I mean, he was playing so aggressive, and rightfully so. Monarch makes the call, which is the standard play here. There's nothing else to do. You don't ever want to raise this spot, so calling is super standard. Let's take a turn.
As they head to the 9 of clubs on the turn. Playing heads up all day long. Here is the second shell.
So Jungle goes ahead and barrels this turn, putting maximum pressure on Monarch. I think at this point, Jungle already knew that Monarch was playing a little bit of scared money, and he's probably capped in this spot. So he just decides to just put maximum pressure on here. But Monarch finds the call, which is the right call here on the turn, I would say. I mean, there's not really much else to do. He still beats flush draws. He still beats some other just random bluffs. Jungleman can have 6-5 of clubs here and just be bluffing off. So Monarch has to make this turn call here. Let's take a river.
He's going for it. He's going for it. Oh my.
There it is.
Here we go. $1.8 million bet.
So Jungle empties the clip in this spot. With all those things in mind, Monarch is capped. Monarch is playing scared money. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to put all the money in here. And guys, I will not lie to you. This is a very, very ballsy bluff with $10 million on the line. Like, this is insane, right? Because they're playing a winner takes all heads up cash game. And if Jungle loses this pot, if his all in gets called here, he's well on his way to losing his share of the $5 million in this game, which is just absolutely nuts, right? So you would think a lot of people would make this bluff and then maybe be like shaking, or maybe it's just too scared to pull the trigger here. But Jungleman is a boss. I mean, this guy just puts the money in without a care in the world. And he knows Monarch is probably going to be thinking in his mind, I don't think this guy's going to bluff me off for this big of a pot. I mean, a massive pot of this size that Jungleman's going to find a bluff here. I think Monarch's thinking Jungleman doesn't have bluffs here. He probably flopped a straight. Maybe he has a set. Maybe he has ace-queen, ace-10. There's so many value hands here. And the natural bluffs are few and far between. There's the low-end diamonds. Jungleman could have easily turned a hand like Jack 10 or Jack 9 suited or something like that into a bluff here as well with nice blockers. I think Monarch is not thinking that deep in this hand. If I'm being honest, I think he's just thinking, there's a lot of money in this pot. I don't think this guy's bluffing, so I'm gonna fold.
I literally have no idea what we're going to see here.
Wow.
Did Jungle just show it as well?
Show one.
Oh no.
Show one.
You're gonna see it.
So right now we're gonna see the biggest pot ever in televised poker history. This pot's gonna get to $7.7 million.
Raised to 150. Clutching those white 100k chips and 3-bet to 600k, 10 blinds. We're way past the median the median house cost of the United States of America.
So we have Jungleman opening the ace-8 offsuit, and we have Monarch 3-betting the ace-jack suited to 600k. So far, everything's all fine and dandy until Jungleman decides to put in a 4-bet with ace-8 offsuit to $1.4 million. Now, this is a standard-ish 3-bet, but against a player like Monarch, I don't like it because he should have, in my opinion, Jungleman should have been playing a very low variance strategy to really beat this guy without taking any big risks. I don't think it's necessary to make a 4-bet here with ace-8 offsuit. and take a flop in a pot that's already going to be $2.8 million pre-flop, guys. That is absolutely insane.
So imagine him folding, but as you mentioned, we haven't seen this level of aggression pre-flop. He's well aware Jungle's going to have some bluffs here, of course. So he makes the call, and we just got 2.8 million as we head to the flop, my friend. Oh, the club in the window. Little crawl on Aussie as Queen 7 of spades rolls out behind.
So the flop comes Queen Jack 5. Monarch, of course, checks, and Jungleman decides to check back with his ace-8 offsuit here. I don't mind this. I think this is okay. I would prefer to see a c-bet being put in here by Jungleman, but I think checking back is fine.
On this one. Oh, and there it is.
Oh.
That'll give some pleasure to Monarch as he finds a pair, albeit the third spade. It never seems to be easy for him. He doesn't find like the Jack of Hearts here. That's just
Yeah.
So the Jack of Spades peels off on the turn. Monarch checks it over to Mr. Jungleman, and Jungleman decides to bet $1.2 million right here on the turn, which is slightly less than half pot. I think this is a good sizing here as a bluff. It's just a good sizing with any hand that he has, bluff or value, actually. Monarch has a fairly easy call here with second pair, but there are 3 spades out there, so he's definitely sweating this. Jungleman is really, I think, planning on barreling a lot of rivers and just emptying the clip. It's got to be so nerve-wracking to try and make a bluff in this spot for $12 million potentially, right? We haven't seen a river yet. I'm not saying that's what it's going to get to, but I think that's his plan here. Let's say this river comes like a brick 10 or just like a 9 or something. I think Jungleman is going all in this spot. We'll see what the river brings in a second, so you see how the hand actually played out. But I think the plan for Jungleman here is to bet turn and jam a lot of rivers.
He sticks around 1.2 million. The call, $5.2 million
And
pot.
look at that river card.
Oh my word.
The river comes the ace of diamonds. What a card. I almost wish it wasn't the ace of diamonds. I wish it was like a blank 10 or a blank 9 or maybe like a spade or something like that, just so Monarch could check it over to Jungleman, and we see if Jungleman has the balls to pull the biggest bluff in televised poker history. But we don't get to see that because the ace of diamonds comes, Monarch makes 2 pair, and in my opinion, he actually makes a very good donk river jam. And the reason why I say it's very good, in this spot, Jungleman's range is gonna be some hands like maybe some ace 10, maybe some ace king. And both of those hands, the way this hand played out, I think Jungleman would have checked on the river if he did have a hand like ace 10 or ace king. He actually has ace 8, and I'm almost positive he would have definitely checked ace 8 if Monarch would have checked it over to him. But hands like ace 10 and ace king are not guaranteed to bet. The only problem in this spot is Monarch doesn't have many bluffs in his range as played. Maybe he has a hand like pocket 10s with a spade. Maybe he has a hand like pocket 9s with a spade that he check called the turn, and now he's just donk river jam bluffing. But he'd been playing pretty tight overall, like we talked about in this video. So I can't see him turning those hands to a bluff here. I think he would just check if he had a hand like pocket 10s with a spade, pocket 9s with a spade. Some of the other bluffs he could have, maybe he has a hand like king jack with the king of spades turning into a donk river jam bluff here. It's possible if he called the 4-bet pre-flop, which he might, you know, he might do that. So that's definitely within the range that I guess Jungleman would be putting him on this river. But Jungleman thought it through. He even had a bite of a breadstick as he was thinking it through, like an absolute pimp. He was just taking a long time to make Monarch sweat. That's just my opinion. I don't think Jungleman was ever considering a call here with ace-8. I really don't. I think he just wanted to show Monarch that he's not going to make like a big fold in a very quick way. He was just kind of Hollywooding here a little bit. From what we've seen out of Monarch, like he's just going to have something weird here, like some ace high flush or some king 10 of spades or something like ace jack or even ace queen. Like he's had like this very weird playing style, and he's played unorthodox with some of his value hands, checking and weird lines and all this kind of stuff. So it just makes so much more sense for Monarch just to show up with the hand that he had, this ace jack river 2 pair, some kind of value hand, let's say. And Jungleman does make the great fold here, but nonetheless, we still have the biggest pot in televised poker history at $7.7 million. And if Jungleman made this call, it would have been a pot over $10 million, which is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts, guys.
What a moment we've been treated to here. All of you joining us on the Onyx Live YouTube channel. I don't think any of us will forget that moment. Oh, hello. Couple of hands.
2 huge hands, yeah. I was just laughing at Mark's comment. So do you have secondary commentators if the commentators pass out before the players?
Do have 2 big hands.
We have Jungleman opening the button here with ace-jack offsuit, and then we get Monarch making a 3-bet to $600,000 pre-flop. This is nuts. Just these numbers are nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. And Jungleman makes the call. Let's take a flop.
Battling out here. Oh, hello. Jungle with bottom pair and an ace of clubs, but Monarch flops top 2. Maybe this is the big one he needs.
So Monarch flops huge here with the king, queen, jack flop. And he makes a c-bet here. Jungleman makes a very standard call. He's got ace-jack. He's got the gutter ball. He's got the ace of clubs. Everything is there.
So many hands that can call you. Let's go third pot.
Yeah, and glad to see this. We've seen Monarch, you know, over the last couple of days, check some really strong hands. 3-betting on this kind of board. Oh, my word. I mean, it's just really not been his day. $2 million pot. Jungle drills the ace. They just hit you with one of the freeze cards, and after a while does check. Jungle checking back.
The turn goes check, check, which is a very standard in this spot. Monarch obviously doesn't want to put any more money in at this point. And Jungleman is thinking, I might have the best hand, but Monarch can still have ace, queen, ace, king played this way. He doesn't want to put any more money in either. Jungleman could maybe put in a very small turn bet here to check back river, knowing that Monarch just doesn't raise enough. But he can also just check back and hope to maybe pick off a bluff on the river, or maybe find a fold on the river. Depends what happens. Let's see.
Piecing together 1.4
Too big, my friend.
million. And I mean, this is concerning, though, isn't it, for Jungle? Because all the big sets could be there. Ace, queen, ace, king, that's certainly plausible. I mean, if we take out bluffs, we don't really beat any value. We can see here, somehow we are.
On this river spot, when Monarch bets 1.4 million into 2 million, this makes absolutely no sense. I cannot understand this bet at all. I think he thinks he's value betting here because Jungle checked back the turn and he assumes Jungle doesn't have a 10. So I think that his thinking was, this is gonna look bluffy and I'm gonna value bet, and hopefully Jungle has something like king 9 suited of something, or ace 7 of clubs or something like that. This is just a really bad bet, guys. There's no other way to look at this. If this is a bluff, this is terrible, because you have so many other hands to bluff. I don't see why you would bluff king queen when you want your villain to kind of have 2 pair and maybe find a fold here. I think Jungleman was just as confused by this bet, because he's like, wait, is Monarch gonna check a 10 here out of position with 2 flush draws? Sometimes, yes. But what else is he betting for 1.4 million? So this is a very polarizing size that he used, the 1.4 million here. It's either, it should be a straight or just complete airball. But Monarch somehow just has king, queen of hearts here. I don't understand the logic. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what the logic here is. And I don't even know if Monarch knows what the logic here is, guys. Like, this is just a weird spot. And I'm sure Jungleman, like, when he saw this hand, he was probably just baffled. Like, what the hell was that? Like, is this, I guess this is a value bet, but what do you want me to call that's worse than this kind of thing? Yeah, so I strongly dislike this from Monarch. I think if anything, the one thing he can do is make a very small block bet here on the river. I would maybe think even like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 into a pot of 2 million. 500,000 is the maximum. 25% bet on this river is the absolute maximum I would go. 1.4 million is completely out of the question. I hate this.
From a theoretical point of view, you know, Jungle just doesn't have jacks, queens, kings, aces, ace, king. All these hands would have made more noise pre-flop, so
You call? Yeah.
Yes.
he does feel the need to call. And that is a huge pot going the way of Jungleman. $4.8 million.
All in.
How much?
Oh, this
Does jam the queen 3 of hearts, and Jungle will be looking up the ace-8 here. 61% of the time, we will have a winner.
So for the last hand of this $12 million match, Monarch just open jams queen 3 suited on the button for about 13.5 bigs. I don't like this, guys. I think this should be a limp or a min raise. I don't like it at all. Jungleman makes a very standard call with the ace-8 off.
all he needs to do is hold for a $12 million prize. That is mind-boggling.
Really is, but we've seen Monarch.
We see the run out, and that's that. Jungleman ends up winning this match, and overall, he ends up winning $13 million from Monarch. I mean, this is the most mind-boggling thing we've ever seen. I mean, these kind of numbers are not a real thing in poker. I mean, you know, this is the biggest game we've ever seen by far. What we've seen here is the difference in styles. Jungleman treats the triple barrel like it's his morning coffee, while Monarch treats the flop bet like he's signing a mortgage. This was supposed to be high stakes poker, but half the time Monarch played it like a training video on pot control. And I think that's why he ended up losing this match. Also because he's just outmatched here, guys. Jungleman is a seasoned veteran, and Monarch is just way in over his head. This match showed us that even when the buy-ins are 6 million apiece, poker is still unpredictable, wild, and downright insane. If you want to see more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe. So at the end of the day, Jungleman ended up winning $13 million, guys, from Monarch, which is absolutely insane if you think about that. Like, that kind of money exchanging hands and just a random heads up cash game in one day is just absurd.